Welcome. I am Marcelle Martin, and it's my privilege to host this event tonight for the celebration of the Prayer of the World, the Rainbow Psalm by Kathleen Maia Tapp and Ken Tapp. We're going to hear their story. Maia Tapp had a career as a successful author of children's books, and then her inner life took her on a deeper journey that she's going to tell us a little bit about, the journey that has led to this extraordinary creation, this joint creation. So I think I will spotlight you, Maia, so that people can see you well. So could you tell us, how did you first experience a connection with the earth?
Well, first, before I say that, I am just so touched by all of you coming to this. Thank you so much. It means so much to see you. Although everyone came on so fast, I don't think I found everyone. But my connection to the earth, well, as a kid, I was always in trees and always looking for unpaved ground. And we lived in the Long Beach area of California, and that was hard to find. And then I think when I look back over early stories as a children's writer, especially fantasies, I think a lot of them touched on the theme of earth, although I didn't realize it at the time, some of the stories that I wrote. But I think that I could leave it there for a first awareness. Yeah.
Great. Could you tell us about the Rainbow Psalm in your new book?
Okay. I think that the image that comes to me with the Rainbow Psalm, or the words that would come with that image, are the light of love bends through the prism of itself and pours down color. And so that is a kind of a guiding image for, as the Rainbow Psalm develops that idea of the colors, it's a spiritual rainbow. It's also sort of follows the unfolding of life, I think, with the red, orange, yellow would be the starfire beginnings, and the green would be the life on earth, and then the blue of the sky. And there also seems to be a sort of a reflection with inner life in all those colors also. So that would be like the motif of the rainbow. But I also see or feel that there is the theme of prayer woven through the whole book, and with the web of life, and reaching out, caring, connecting, opening, softening, listening within the web of life as prayer, expanded definition of prayer. It is in some ways like real mindful living that is aware and caring. And so there's also that different beings in the web that are parts about a turtle and an eagle and water lily and wheat, and other ones I'm not thinking, peacock. And that's all woven with the interbeingness of the web of life and the prayer that is all around us. So that's how I would try and kind of distill it.
Great. So I know that the journey of writing this book has taken you to many places in the world, and to listen to creation in an extraordinary way and to give voice to it. And you're going to tell us more about that later. But could you tell me how the Quaker community has supported you throughout this process, which I would say, has it been at least 10 years?
I'd say more like 15 to 20. I should get myself. So where am I? I can't find me. I'm up here. Okay. Can everyone see me?
Yes.
Okay. What was your question again, Marcelle?
How has the Quaker community supported you in this process?
I am so grateful to the Quaker community for the support from the very beginning as I was trying to understand what was going on. From the beginning of having these words, and I can talk more about how that happened also in a minute, but having these words and wondering, how do I share these words? And I went for a month sojourn at Pendle Hill and was given support. And two of the people who were there ended up moving near our meeting and were mentoring me with this particular project ministry, Ken and Catherine Jacobsen. And with their nudging, I went to the Way of Ministry program, and Ken was involved with that too. You know, Ken was busy doing his nature photography this whole time, but we didn't realize yet that they were combined. That's his spiritual practice. So he was busy taking pictures while I'm talking about all these other things. Hold an image of him taking pictures, because that's part of the whole thing, of course. And so in the Way of Ministry program held at Pendle Hill, there was encouragement to pair the words with the photographs. And it was support just for the whole, which felt like such a big project. There was support for it to hold it up, which I really needed and appreciated. So we did that. We paired the photography with the poetry, and we began to share it in oral presentations in many places, many Quaker groups, many interfaith communities and groups, and eventually at FGC as a workshop, which is the Friends General Conference, and as artists in residence at Pendle Hill. I was able to have a day-long contemplative retreat using the material from Prayer of the World, and Ken Jacobsen created a beautiful song, and Maggie O'Neill created a beautiful dance, and it was really a wonderful opportunity. And then there's been many other times that I've been able to share also. So, and then the Lyman Fund, which is a Quaker grant, gave money to bring this to the book form. When I look back, I'm just very grateful. It's been very nurturing, supportive, and made this possible. And just in the Quaker meeting, the support has been wonderful.
Thank you. I know that the Rainbow Psalm is one part of the larger work called the Prayer of the World. And you're about to show us some slides that include part of the Rainbow Psalm, but also pieces from the larger Prayer of the World. I wonder if you would like to say anything more about the slides you're about to show us.
Okay, are we going to be doing the slides next? That would kind of affect how much I say at this point.
Yes.
Okay. The slides, I wanted you to see a little bit of the different places that I've gone to that we haven't talked about yet, because part of what happened after I started moving forward with the photographs and the poetry, and even before that, was to go to different places and to listen and to write. So I wanted to bring forward some of the poetry that came from those places and Ken's photography. So that's called Earth Speaks, and it's different places in the United States. I don't think yet, I don't know if there's any in here that are beyond the United States. I don't remember that right this second. I don't think so. But so the beginning of the slides will be apart from the Rainbow Psalm, the book that you see. And after that, there will be, I think, fairly short sections from 7 places that I visited to write as a pilgrim, to listen to earth and to write. I felt like I kind of went all over the place with that. Did it make sense?
Yes, and it'll make more sense once we see the slideshow. So I think if you're ready, you can share that. And that'll be about, as you say, 10 minutes or so, or
I
15.
think so, yeah.
Mhm.
So again, this is the beginning is from the Prayer of the World, the Rainbow Psalm, and then the seven of the places that we visited to listen to Earth. Okay, but let's hope this works. Okay. I am the cloud, the whisper of the cloud, the changing face of the cloud. I am color, I am air, I am water, I am change. I dream, and my dreams take shape. No form holds me. I am mother, and this is the rainbow dance. This is the rainbow web. I am splashing my color all over the earth, and I call to you, see me, open your eyes. I ask you to call back the rainbow. The colors, the sounds, the presences all form a web of life. And I am world, pulsing with color and groaning with pain. You've lost your way. You have become colorblind. Listen before it is too late. From the beginning time, my love has flowed. I am spirit, ruah, greenness, life. Feel the heart of my life deep in the center of the planet. Feel the long trail of fire that leads back to first light. People of Earth, you are in a cosmic alive cocoon of life and color and song, and you do not see and you do not hear, and time is running out. I give you the gift of rainbow, a bridge through this time of storm and trail of blood and hope. I speak from the butterfly. No more heavy crawling, furry, gobbling hunger. No more the longing, unfulfilled. Now the sky, now the clouds, now the soaring flight, now the time of the wings. You must rise up. Join the prayer of life. All is connected in a living, breathing web, and I am the web. The living pulse of energy that flows through all creation. Each pulse a prayer. Love prayer in birdsong, leafing branchways, foaming surf, scudding clouds and wheeling planets. All around you lies the prayer of life. The earth is my prayer of love. I pray the earth into being. I sing the earth into being. I dance the earth, its life into being. Join the prayer. The web is hugely strained, growing more feeble, connections wisping to slender threads, breaking. And I am lace maker, prayer of the world. You must open your eyes and hearts. I will teach you how to pray. This book is the prayer of the world. Pacific Ocean. I am ocean. I speak in rhythm of wave. I have been here since you yourselves crawled from my depths and made your home on solid ground. I held you and rocked you. I held you and taught you. I taught you of moon life. I rocked you with moon. It's time for you to listen deeply to my life, my rhythm, my teaching. Listen as I send wave upon wave upon wave to meet you and greet you in ripples of sand and ripples of foam and seagulls calling you home to the breath of sea, the breath of earth, the breath of being, the breath of God. There is a rhythm of life on earth and in the whole cosmos, and you are part of that life, that rhythm. I am mother. I speak from the ocean, the teacher of the rhythm of earth. Joshua tree. Listen to the teaching of the Joshua tree at this hour when sun's heat swells and water's abundance is strained in many ways. We have much to teach you, people of earth. How to hold firm despite difficult conditions. How to be with earth, air, fire, water. Do you hear? Do you understand? The stones hold you in prayer, the prayer of solid, grounded presence, ancient knowing, wise abiding. In a time of great change, the desert prays with you, the prayer of the world. The Arctic tundra. I am mother. I speak from the knowing, warmth, and fierce protectiveness of Mother Bear of the frozen land. I will nudge and guide and teach you the way through the cold barrenness of your present landscape, holding mind, body, and soul in a certain cold condition, unforgiving. And I nourish you yet, and I guide you yet, and I love you always. I will show you the way to forgiveness. It is not too late. Even though this landscape you have fashioned is bleak and barren, I can guide you. I can lead you home. I need you to grow into your own mothering, to be my arms, my warmth, my guiding ways in these tortuous times, this modern cold landscape. I speak from the great white bear, and I ask you to call upon me, for I live in your heart. You need to awaken the fierce, abiding power of love now, at this critical time in the life of Earth. I call to you from within the cave of your own sacred heart, where the great bear love sleeps. Come forth. Awaken the life, the love, the courage. Awaken the one who knows the ancient knowing of the bedrock, the wisdom of the Arctic life, its story, its strength, its hope. Who knows that each one holds power to help restore the balance, the breath, the rhythm, restore the full and vibrant heart of Earth. Kilauea, Hawaii, womb of Earth. I am Mother, birthing new life, a new time. I spring forth, I pour forth, I hold fire in my hand. New Earth. Join the prayer of this new creation, which sings an old song of life and love. New Earth, new hope. Learn the sacred aloha. Join the prayer of the world. Alaska glaciers. In a time of great change and upheaval, many are confused. They look to charts, numbers, and graphs. Look to Earth's heart. There is a level of heart that your instruments cannot understand or remedy. Earth's heart needs comfort, reassurance. I ask for help. Please pray the prayer of the world. Please pray the colors. Please pray the song. Join the song. The mother of all enlivens all beings. Her prayer enlivens the earth. Please sing the song that has been given. The time of the singing is here. The Gulf of Mexico during the oil spill. I am oil. I am your ancestor of the green and early dawn. Young ones of the old earth, I am an old one from the young earth. I am mother. I speak from the oil-filled sea. I ask for the song of healing, my song, in me, for me. The black tears of the Gulf release the pain of these times. I am the heartbeat of the world. Now is the time to raise the prayer of Earth. Your prayers help gather all back into my breath to heal the suffering beings of this water and of the world. Reach out a hand. Join hands. Give back to the web. Add your voice to the song. Please heal me. Sing me back to strength. The time of the singing is here. Uluru, Australia, sacred to the Aboriginal people. I offer you rest, a dreaming womb space to hold you safe. Rest here a while. Let go of the frantic busyness of scattered lives that stomp upon Earth's life and could stomp it out. Rest, breathe, be. Hold the prayer with you in your dreaming. The dream space is vast and lives in your soul. I offer deep blessings as we dream the new earth into being. And that is prayer, the prayer of the world.
Thank you so much, Maya. That's so beautiful, and I've seen it many times now. The first time I think it was projected on a big screen in the barn at Pendle Hill, but each time it really it just draws at my heart to join the sacred wholeness of life. It's very powerful. Um, so some of the pieces of this that you showed us just now come from the travels that you and your husband Ken made to different places on the earth to which you felt drawn. And this is just a sample of those places. I wonder if you could say more about your experience of being drawn to specific places.
It's a sort of a gut feeling that there is a need to go to a certain place and try and listen and write. And sometimes the gut feeling will develop over a period of months. And like with the Arctic, I remember thinking early in the year, for some reason, it would be really good to go find a way to get up into the tundra area that was safe. And it took us most of the year to do that. And then when we got there, there was a wonderful eco tour that let us actually be out on the tundra in a way that was safe for the beings of the tundra and safe for us, and not invasive of the beings of the tundra, and to just experience it quietly with me with my notebook and he with his camera. And that would be one example. I know that there, what I experienced was the feeling of resilience, deep resilience that was on that tundra, and like the flag trees that were sort of very short and only had needles on one side and they looked like flags because of the cold and bitter winds that were coming at them all the time. So that would be one example of going to the tundra. For the Gulf, that was completely different because it was in the news that there was a disaster. And I'm one to stay home and stay away from the disasters, but for some reason it felt like it was really important to go there. And so I was able to get a hotel down at the shore, and it was quite awful. And I remember feeling there, like the feeling was like being by a sick bed. And there weren't many people, of course, because most people were staying away from the Gulf right after that huge oil spill. But it was like experiencing Earth's suffering in a way that I hadn't before. And it was so hot that I could only go before 7 in the morning or after 7 at night, or else it just made me dizzy. It was so hot and humid. But in those times, early morning and late evening, just going out there, and it was very different from the tundra. I remember being just so struck by the Kilauea, as the caldera, the volcano, the power of it, that I was almost in a trance. It was so powerful to just stand there and experience that. I didn't have a whole lot of words about it, but it did just feel like a womb. So those are a few of the places we went to. I went with my sister to Iona in Ireland. Ken and I went to the Everglades and the Arctic and Alaska, and other close by places. The Grand Canyon, the Smoky Mountains, the trees of Pendle Hill. And other places I'm not even calling to mind right now. France. I did not go to Australia to see Uluru. Uluru. That was more like in a prayer, the information on that one. So that's a kind of a halting answer to your question.
I remember one of the earliest places was Indian Mounds.
When I first got interested in going to different places, and it was being interested isn't quite the right way to describe it. It was deeper than that. I went to lots of places that were around here, more close by. And the Indian Mound was the first place that I was drawn to go into. It felt when I saw there's some of them that are effigy mounds that are in the shape of, well, like say a lizard. It felt as if the earth had gotten limbs and was moving. It just felt so alive and so powerful. And I also went to a place nearby that was a station on the Underground Railroad that is called Milton House. And I was so struck by the door. I was thinking, whoever had to open that door to slaves that were fleeing and trying to get in, the courage that took. And whoever was knocking on the door on the other side, the courage that took. And the story of the place, it was, and then I went into the basement. It was so cold that there was just some kind of an intense cold down there. So it's the story of the places that call. The story of what happened at the mounds, the story of what happened at this house on the Underground Railroad, the story of Earth, what's happening to Earth. And so it's really the story that calls to me, and story has called to me my whole life.
For me, one of the powerful things in the piece you just showed us was the slide about that where the oil comes from. It comes from early Earth, and that was, it's like it was part of the story of the Earth. That was really beautiful for me. Is there anything more you can say about what it's like to sense the spirit in a place?
You know, you suggested to me that you were going to ask this question, and so I had never really thought about it in an analytical way before, and it was really good for me to do that. Let me see what I wrote down. When I went to Alaska, I was happy to be going on a trip, so I didn't understand why I started crying. And especially as we got into the bay, Glacier Bay, going deeper into Glacier Bay. The deeper we went into Glacier Bay, the more I was crying. I was not just a few tears down my face. I was sobbing, and I didn't know why, because I wasn't unhappy about anything in my own life. But if you think about the words that came from Alaska that I just shared with you, Earth's heart needs comfort, reassurance. I think I was experiencing something there that was, I still don't understand it logically, and I wouldn't know why Alaska. But I do know that there was great grief that I felt that went through me. And the words that came were about grief and the heart needing reassurance. So that would be one example of the feelings knowing. And I think like at the Milton House basement, the sensation, the body sensation, knowing, I think by feelings and by in the body is how you know, how I know. And I usually don't figure it out right away. I mean, I went to Alaska 6 years ago, and I'm talking to you about now and still trying to figure it out. But I do know what happened. And I would offer those as examples.
Thank you. The voice that comes through this writing is really extraordinary, and sometimes it feels like it's the voice of the creatures and creation. Sometimes it's the voice of the earth, and sometimes it's a sacred voice that's cosmic, that's divine. Sometimes you refer to it as, mother speaking to us, but it's like, for me, I would say God. But how do you, is there anything you can tell us about that place that you go to, where you hear the voice that comes for this work?
To me, it feels like this kind of writing feels like dipping into a place of a wider field of information, or a place that's more of oneness, that's beyond the separations that make us also separate. That's how I experience it. And my own personal prayer, of course, is part of it. And there's been aspects of the feminine, the divine feminine, in my dreams. So my own spiritual journey and my own personal prayer is part of all of this. But what I could say about the writing is that it dips into a deeper place of information, which some would call oneness and some would call a wider field.
Thank you. It's extraordinary. Before we move on to the more other aspects of the book itself and the ways that you presented, is there anything more you want to say about the creation of this prayer of the world?
Yeah, I had gone to these places that I talked about, the Milton House and the mounds, and I also found a very powerful place was the Veterans Memorial that is not all that far from here. It was a very healing place and taught me a lot. But after I was starting to feel that I was being asked to open more in my writing, and I was confused about that and frustrated, and I didn't quite know what that meant, but I could just feel sort of a pressure with it. And so I made a reservation at a retreat place a few hours west near the Mississippi, and went out there. It was very difficult. There was a detour. It was hard to get to. And when I got there, there was a carpet cleaning place that was pulled up right near where my room was, and the hose went into the window of the room next to me with the carpet cleaning noises. And so it was, kind of difficult. And I kept trying to just pay attention to what kind of writing I should be doing and why I felt kind of the way you get when you're ready to write, but you're not sure what, whatever that creative tension is. And I just felt blocked. So I thought, okay, I guess I'm going back home. And I went to check out, and then sort of impulsively, I said, I'm going to pay for another night. And I'd like to move my room further away. And so I did, and I was there all day, and I was still very frustrated. And so toward evening, I was sitting by the window and I was doing a little journaling, and there was a beautiful sunset that was starting in the west. And I suddenly found myself writing that I am the cloud, the whisper of the cloud, the changing face of the cloud. I am color, I am air. I am water, I am change. And when I went home, I continued to write, and that eventually became Prayer of the World.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for, as Quakers say, being faithful to the call that you experienced.
One thing I should add, when I was at that retreat, there was a few other retreatants. We had breakfast together, and one of them was a minister, and he was very friendly and asking how everything was going. And I said, I'm just so frustrated. I just don't know what I'm going to write. And I started to walk away with my tray. And he calls out to me, maybe God wants you to write a book.
Oh, do you think there might be another one for the other pieces of the Prayer of the World?
I'm tired right now. I don't know the answer to that. There is a website, and a lot of the other parts are at least on the website for now.
Great.
And I could talk more about, I think we've talked about Rainbow Psalm and the Earth Speaks. You've seen parts of that, and I've spoken of some of the other places also. And did you want to get into that, Marcelle?
Yeah, if you, yes.
There is a Song of the Web is another section, which is really a beautiful, half the size of Rainbow Psalm, but it's about creation and movement and song and dance and seeds. There's a lot of seeds in it. There's the song of the birds, there's the dance of the bee, there's the song of the seed, and it's it seemed like it could be all ages because it's easier and maybe a bit more accessible, and also a part creation story. So there's that feels very much a companion to Rainbow Psalm, and they both have about the rainbow. So Rainbow Psalm, Song of the Web, and then Earth Speaks were all the places that I went to. The fourth part, it's harder for me to get my head around or to know yet how it would find its form, but I do know that it is about, it seems like Celtic Christian strand of Christianity that is so honoring of Christ's presence in nature. And I feel that this fourth section, which I don't even know what to call it yet, there's a part of it on the website called Join the Song. But it is that one line in the Gospel of Thomas, it said, lift the stone and you will find me. I think that this last part of the Prayer of the World is kind of in that spirit, Christ's presence in nature. So that's all the big, long, many words, 4 parts.
Thank you. Can you tell us about the presentations you've done? I know you've done some in-person presentations like the one I went to in the barn at Pendle Hill, and you've done some online presentations. We got a little taste of that here. Can you tell us about the different ways that you've shared the Prayer of the World, including retreats?
Well, there's been a lot that have been like a reflective sharing, where I would share and Ken would be there too, and we would share the slides and read the poetry. Ken Jacobsen has composed a song, which I think we may get to hear tonight, and is a beautiful song about the Prayer of the World, and he has often come to be part of those kind of programs. And then there have been like a half-day program. We've it has taken different flavors depending on different things, and sometimes a contemplative draw, sometimes a more activist, what can I do to help Earth, sometimes more just some meditation time, and a full day, a half day, a couple hours, a weekend, one time a week long class at the French General Conference. And then it was mixed with dance, and Peggy O'Neill helped me with that. So Maggie O'Neill. So that's a little overview of the many ways it's been shared.
Wonderful. And can you tell us about the new book seeding project?
Yes, I would like to share about the book seeding project. In the places that I shared about tonight, the earth is asking for help. That was what struck me about going to the Gulf, because the other places I went mostly to write, and there were like teachings, you could say. But at the Gulf, it was like help. And the Seeding the Earth project is a response to that. Earth asks for help. The person who helped envision this is a healer who lives in the southern Wisconsin area. It has been thought of by others, but he brought it most into a kind of a more concrete thing we could work with. And what we'd like to do is to well, I have to back up. There was a Lyman Fund grant that I mentioned that helped have the money to self-publish the book Prayer of the World. There is money left in that fund right now. So what we wanted to do was to make books available to those who are interested in this project, and it's called Seeding the Earth. The idea is that if there is a place that is no longer the way you remember it, if you would like to bring a book there and to pray some of the prayers or some prayer that you think of yourself, and leave a book there to help seed the earth with prayer. We have some books that have been taken to the Asheville area, a couple in Washington State, and in Michigan, and in Wisconsin, and there's some on their way to Israel and Jordan and India. If this interests you, there's a lot more on the website about it, and we're hoping to make a lot of books available while the money from the Lyman Fund remains. It's similar to, I feel, a couple of things. One is the Peace Pole project that was, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, where so many communities put peace poles in the earth to kind of dedicate an area to the cause of peace. They called it, I think, acupuncture for the earth. And it's also, to me, sort of like, there are so many places of tragedy right now, and it seems people bring flowers and teddy bears and leave them there and offer comfort and respect and prayerful attention to whatever happened there. And to me, it's like that with earth. I remember that feeling of sickbed at the Gulf, and so if that calls to you at all, to bring a book there, to spend some time with a bit of prayer, and to leave a book there to tuck it in the earth, then please get in touch with me either through my email if you know it, or go to the website. And there's a lot of information on the website about that. All the books at this point have the website on the back of them. Some of the early paperbacks didn't. But if you needed the website, I could give it also. And I'm happy to take questions about that. This has just recently kind of come to be, and we're still trying to form it and to help Earth. I think I will say one more thing about that. It's just occurring to me. When our family had a tragedy some years back with the death of my oldest son, I was given a prayer shawl by a good friend. And she told me that the person who made the prayer shawl had knitted, with each stitch, had knitted prayer into it, so that it actually was a prayer. That prayer had taken on the texture of yarn and the form of a shawl to comfort. So I think that prayer can also take on the texture of paper and the form of a book, and perhaps give healing and blessing to Earth.
Thank you. Chris Tapp has put the website in the chat, and I think that's the way to contact Maia if you don't already have her email address. So Ken Jacobsen is going to share his song at the end, but I think we have time for a few questions. If there's anyone here who would like to ask a question. First, I should ask Maia, are you able to receive questions now?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone with a question? If you can raise your hand electronically, that will put you to the front and everyone will be able to see you. If you go to your reactions buttons, there's a choice that says raise hand. That would be really helpful. There's more than one screen. We won't. It'll help if you can do that. Does anyone have a question for Maia? Or a comment? Linda.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I was just I've read the book and looked at the book, and there are just so many beautiful words and amazing photos throughout the book. And I was just curious if Maya, there's either a favorite part of the book that you have, or a favorite place where you had an experience that became part of the book.
I think that what I'm finding I really like is when I can see how each place fits into the whole, which actually is the web.
Mhm.
And as I think of the individual places, it's more like taking a step back and starting to feel the bigger picture. That doesn't quite answer your question, right? But that's what I like.
Kind of more holistic then,
Yeah,
it as a whole, the pieces.
yeah. How it all fits, how it all.
Could you see that or know that when you were actually doing the writing, or is it only afterwards that you see how it all fits together?
I think I learn more all the time. The more time goes by, the more I learn. I think it's a lot to take in and a lot to integrate. And I think it's a lifetime.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other questions or responses? Michael Wida, is your hand up?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I'm curious about getting the book and even the presentations in front of policymakers, whether it could touch hearts as it's touched ours. I wonder about FCNL. I just wonder whether or not it has a place that I think you get the gist.
Thank
Well, I'm open to trying to share where I can and kind of following openings as they happen. And I didn't think 2 years ago this would be a book, but openings happened and it is. And here I am now. So I don't know personally how to make that happen, but I will keep paying attention and following things as they open.
Thank you. I appreciate your faithfulness.
Thank you.
Chris Tapp, do you happen to have the website where people can go to buy the book?
Yeah, I'll put that. I can put the Amazon link in the chat.
Great, that would be helpful. Thank you. Are there other questions or responses?
There are many people here who have helped me in many ways, and I'm seeing you and I'm feeling gratitude to all of you.
Great. Chris Tapp has put the link to buy the book on Amazon. But I know that some of us prefer not to buy things on Amazon if we have a choice. Is that really the best place to buy it?
It's also on Barnes and Noble and some of the other places where you get books. I don't remember what they're all called, but it's available through a lot of them.
Okay, but you're not selling it directly yourself on your website or anything like that.
But we want to make them available to people who want to have one for taking it to whatever place they might feel would call them. So they need to get in touch with me for that, because that's a whole different thing.
And they can do that on your website?
Yes,
Great,
yes, and it explains more about the project there.
great. And I see Marilyn has her hand up.
Yeah, I have a question. In any of the places that you visited, did you make connection with Indigenous peoples?
I went as a lonely pilgrim, and with my spiral notebook, and my husband often there too with his camera. And no, I don't have those kind of connections. I am so very respectful of the Indigenous people and what they know. I didn't have any connections to connect with them.
Thank you.
I think we have time for one more question or comment before we close. Jean, you need to unmute yourself.
I just want to thank Maia and Ken for this beautiful, deep and very thought-provoking work of prayer. I am touched by her living spirituality and so excited to see her work come to fruition. So thank you, Maia, so very much.
Thank you, Jean.
So Ken Jacobsen, who was, as Maia said, with his wife Catherine, was one of the early supporters of the creation of this Prayer of the World. I just want to comment to Rita in the chat that this is being recorded and that the recording will be made available. I expect it will be on the Prayer of the World website. It'll probably also be available through my blog. I wrote a blog post about the Prayer of the World, and I'll put the link there. It may be available at other places, but that's all we know of right now. So Ken and Catherine Jacobsen, as Maia said, were early supporters of this work, staunch supporters of it. And Ken wrote a song to accompany it, and he has agreed to sing it for us as we end. I think some of us will be available for a little while after we end, but we want to keep our word to finish within an hour. So we'll hear this from Ken Jacobsen now.
I am mother, this is the rainbow dance, splashing all my colors over all the earth. Join my prayer of life. I'll show you how to pray the prayer of the world, the prayer of the sea, the prayer of the wind, to pray the prayer of life. voice maker, web of life. I pray earth into being, sing earth into being. I dance earth into being. I'll show you how to pray the prayer of the world, the prayer of the night, the prayer of the dawn, to pray the prayer of life. I am life dancer, teaching you to dance, hand by hand together, heart by heart together, life by life together. I'll show you how to pray the prayer of the world, the prayer of the seeds, the prayer of the stars, to pray the prayer of life. I am mother, this is the rainbow dance, splashing all the colors over all the earth. Join my prayer of life. Oh, join my prayer of life.
Thank you so much, Ken. And thank you, Maya, and give our thanks to Ken Tapp, who was your partner in creating the Prayer of the World,
Yes, I will.
as well as your partner in life. And I just realized that people who are watching the video may not see the chat. So I'll just let me say that the name of the website where you can, the Prayer of the World, is www.prayeroftheworld.org. And you will be able to find links to pieces of the Prayer of the World and to buy the book and to contact the author. And thank you, friends, so much for being here tonight.
Yes, thank you all.
I'm going to stop the recording, but Maya may be willing to stay for a little bit